Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the I Don't Know Running podcast, where we share our experiences that make running fun and sometimes not so fun. I'm Lewis, and I'm a self-admitted lazy, retired, coming out of retirement, all kinds of changes, ultra runner.
Someday.
We can someday, one day.
Yeah. And I'm Mitch. I'm actually a happy runner today because, again, no snow.
No snow, and you got a nice run it.
I got 18 and a half miles in today.
Was that all with Sean?
Yeah, Sean for the whole thing. And then Carl did quite a bit with us. And then he had to get home. And then Brian showed up and did the whole thing with us.
Nice. Yeah. What is Sean training for?
She's got a 50K coming up in March. But I think that she's got bike in there, too. So she's trying to fit everything in. Bike.
Does she have another one of those duathlons, or I don't know what they call it.
Something along there, because I don't know if it's, I don't know. I don't know what it is because
she did a couple of those last year.
Because she's swimming too. So
so
next week she told me she can't start until 8 because she's swimming.
Oh, okay.
And I don't care about it.
I thought she was retired from, maybe not all triathlons. I thought she was retiring from maybe just the Ironman distance. I don't know.
No, I think she's thinking about doing another Ironman at some point. Yeah.
Huh.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But he had a good run. It was.
Well, I got done and I said, I got to get here. We had somebody cancel on us.
We did.
For good reason.
Yes. Yeah, totally. Yeah, they're sick, and hey, that's that. And I was really excited for that one too, and I am excited. It's still coming.
Yeah, we're just going to reschedule, but it was funny. She's like, I can come and talk for an hour. But then she pointed out to me that her run was 3 seconds a mile faster than mine, even though we ran together.
Oh, that's funny.
So
you said no.
So now it's a no.
Yeah, this podcast, two things. Number one is, we did have a plan to interview somebody. We will get to that just in lineup. But that allowed us, and I am excited for that because one of the things I'm excited for, and we really want to get into this year, one of the things we want to get into this year is supporting local races in some way, shape, or form, whether that's showing up and just volunteering or promoting them on the podcast, interviewing them, talking to them about their race, and doing it that way or whatever. And that's what this was. It was a local event or events, and we wanted to be able to talk to them about their races. And so anyway, all that to say, they'll be back in probably a couple of weeks, and we'll have them on the podcast and go over the races they have. But what that allowed us to do is do something else that we wanted to do, and that was cover some new things that we have coming this year on the podcast.
Yeah. And it's been, I think that you've had a busy week.
Yeah.
Spending a lot of money.
Yeah. Bringing, so we briefly talked about it a little bit in the recap of last year.
Yep.
And what we kind of wanted to do. Some of the things we want to do is, number one, bring on more people. Friends, elites, whatever, and just talk to them about running. Talk to them about their journey to where they're at, journey to where they're going, like what are their goals and aspirations they have. And I think that's fun because you get, just when you can get a mix of people.
Well, different perspectives, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So you get from people, like we had Matt on that has done just crazy stuff. Not everybody is going to be that crazy, but man, that's fun talking to people that do crazy stuff. But, and then we had Mark on that talked about, doing his first marathon. That's just as much fun to me.
It is. It's when the further you get removed from your first one, obviously some of those feelings start to die down. But when I really think about it, I think when I think of the first, I can't even think of the name
race?
of it.
Oh,
well, the first race. But what do they have, like the where you go and pick up your bib? Like,
your first what
the heck do they call that now? We're so removed.
Packet pickup.
Like
right.
Or
Expo.
Expo. That's what it is.
I know we just rush through them now.
Like, I don't even go. Like, hey, can you get my bib? Like, I don't even want to go. But that was exciting.
If I'm out of town, it's still fun to go because
Yeah.
you see what local stuff is going on, and they'll have cool booths and stuff like that. But
Yeah, and you get to experience vendors or whatever that you might not experience locally. Or
But
whatever.
Riverbank, when they have the expo, it's like whoever's going down goes and gets it. They have a cool expo though. I mean, they have a lot of booths set up, and it's huge.
A lot of room.
Yeah.
And you're not packed in like certain expos. I can think of one of the first Bostons I did. They moved the expo to like, it's either normally at the Heinz Center or they moved it to the Heinz Center, and it was stupid packed. Like you couldn't hardly move. And it's like, what are you guys thinking? And then the next year they moved it back.
Well, think about that when we went to Glass City last year to get our packets. How long did we sat in line for? How long getting our packets?
And that wasn't even necessarily the expo. That was just like for whatever reason
I think they were low on volunteers or something. So it just took longer to get through, which does happen. And that's what we talked about is volunteering at these things.
Yeah.
To help.
Yeah, exactly. I thought about this morning, actually, when I was doing something. I'm like, man, I would like to get out and just volunteer to race. I really enjoy that side of things, and I don't get out and do it enough. So that's one of the things I'd like to do this year is, I don't know, just get out and support local races. So
I was going to say you could support me at Groundhog this year, but I think you're going to be busy at that time.
Oh, yeah, I am.
You can come out later.
Yeah, you might still be going. I doubt it. Based on the weather right now, you could be easily done, packed up, and gone.
I know it'd be weird to run on clear roads. I'm hoping.
And the way the weather's been, you could have an awesome day for running. Except for it's not right now.
Except for my fitness level. Not quite there.
No, but you looked at your stride this morning and you're like, well, that's faster than I thought I could probably do a marathon.
It claims I could run a 3:52 right now. I don't know if that's true. Because
but you don't feel like it.
I don't feel that way.
Well, I think it's one that we could put to the test. Brad says as long as you follow that,
right,
you should be good to go.
I have run every day this year so far, actually almost all the way through December as well. And this year I decided to get stupid and I've run at least 10 miles every day.
Wow.
So, and then we did 18 and a half. So I've already got quite a few miles on the month. I'm hoping.
Yeah, because you said you were averaging like 80, 90.
Yeah.
Upwards of 80 or plus anyway.
And then as I get closer to Groundhog, I'm like, should I back off or not? Because my long-term goal is to do an ultra this fall.
Yeah.
And I'd like to just see how my body handles it.
Yeah, I think, though, like that stride, the way that it works is back off or not, it's going to tell you what you can do.
Yeah,
right?
and my weight has coming down because we're doing a competition at work. And I weighed myself and I was probably dehydrated. I didn't carry water with me today, and I only had a couple sips really in between. So
yeah, you probably didn't drink enough.
No, I know I didn't. It was cold though.
It's tough when it's cold to drink enough, for sure.
But I didn't
want to do anything.
I didn't carry anything. I just
goodness.
We did loops and I just had it at the truck, and then
5 mile loops?
No, it was longer than that. 8.5 mile loops. But there was water out because they have groups that set up courses, and I was able to find water at one point and
out of Millennium.
Yeah,
that one spot. Yeah. But yeah, that's so we want to have more friends on. We want to. That's one of the things we want to do. Sean, you could have joined us. Should have just told Mitch you're coming and just joined us this morning. But anyway, we want to have more friends on. We want to have on like more experts in areas like nutritionists, dietitians, that kind of a thing. Just offering more ways for people to improve whatever they're doing. And some people like Clint reached out. He's like, hey, who was the name of that dietitian you had or that nutritionist you had on? I'd like to just reach out and talk to her because, man, I got to change something. And he's a little older than me. And so I'm already feeling the pressure of like what I need to change because I'm getting a little older in order to stay. Why are you looking at me like that?
I was going to say you're climbing up on 50, but
I am. I was trying to be careful how I was wording all that.
I was going to say that Clint's a lot older, actually.
I was trying to be nice.
I'm not.
He's a little older. But we want to have on people like that.
He's even older than me.
He is. I was trying to be nice.
I'm not. He can handle it.
Everybody knows that. So yeah, we want to have on people like that. We want to have on local and global / nationally elites, like some of the faster people in our area that can win the local races and things like that. Because again, that's a different perspective from the person running their first marathon or half or 5K or whatever.
One of the challenges with that when we get outside of local though is the sound, like when you have to do it on Zoom. So we've been kind of dealing with that.
Yeah, and figuring out the best way to do that. And I think based on the last one we did with Ben, I'm like, man, what we should do, and this is probably more detail than needed, but I want to get that audio from them. And so we're trying to figure out a way how to better, I don't know, just to make that sound better. Because, man, inevitably a phone call or a Zoom call, it sounds electronic. It sounds tinny. It doesn't sound great.
Yeah.
So we're going to try and improve on that. But we do want to interview some more elites. We want to interview local elites because, I think that's fun to get their perspective from where they're running and what they're shooting for and things like that. Mm-hmm. We want to jump into gear reviews. This is something that, we talked about doing last year. But we want to just make a focus on that this year to actually do some of those and see how it goes. Like some people might like it, some people might not. But I think that's important that given the amount of running we've done from ultras to marathons or whatever.
I think that's a very good point because when we both started out, me especially, I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, I'm running in cotton shirts and getting chafed like crazy. And really, when you're starting out, we call this, we don't know running. The reality is that we've done a lot and we've tested a lot of gear and we've learned what works for us. It doesn't mean that it works for everybody. And you and Nicole interviewed Orange Mud and talked about that pack. I do love that pack, but there's other packs for me that I like better that just fit differently.
Yeah, some people they don't like the water bottles there. Some people do.
It's easier it really is easy at aid stations because you can pop them suckers out and you can fill them up quick. But if I've run a race where you're ducking under trees and them water bottles are getting caught on stuff. Yeah. So, it's that give and take thing.
Yeah, and everything has its pros and cons. One of the cons to any type of a bladder system is the bladder itself.
You have to pull that thing. You have to pull it out of the pack and you have to... There's so many endless things, and it really depends on the race and what your personal preference is.
And how, when I think of packs, one of the things I always think about is what's my goal for that race? Like if it's a training race, I'm just going to throw on the double barrel or the single barrel, depending on how long the race is, because I don't really care about time as much.
Yeah.
But if it's something I'm like, I want a PR or I want to try myself at this race. Well, I'm going to try and go minimum. I might just do a handheld.
Right.
And fill up at aid stations, or I might just go with my single barrel, which I really like, because then you don't have something in your hand,
right?
Which is a good feeling.
That's just it too. If you're some of these races where you're off road, you got to use your hands sometimes to get up those hills. Think about Marquette, like that thing. Yeah, crazy. Like you don't want anything in your hand in that race.
For certain portions, for sure. I'm thinking of the one I did in Indiana with Brian. Cannot think of it. Anyway, but that one is one where, holy smokes, having stuff in your hand would be a pain in the butt because you're it was like that one you guys do in Lowell.
Yeah, the Mummy.
The Mummy. Similar to that where
you're actually sliding on your butt to get under trees because you're going down trails that are not maintained.
They're not even trails.
Yeah. It's fun.
It's just woods you're running through.
Yeah. He picks a line through the woods and says, there you go.
So, yeah, we want to do some gear type reviews. Watches, maybe. You start to get into pretty costly stuff there. But we have our experience with the watches we currently have.
It's worth it to stretch yourself if you're going to use it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Because this watch was $500. I have definitely gotten my use out of it. And
I got my use out of mine.
And I think about that, like, and I've had it for, I don't know, 5 years. And I think about upgrading again. And the one I look at is $1,000.
No, but that just seems like that's what they cost right now is $1,000. If you want an elite, not an elite, if you want a watch specific to running ultras,
Yeah, that has a long battery life.
or triathlons, and the battery life, it's $1,000.
Well, what I'm finding about, we keep coming back to Stride, is that it's compatible with the watch I have now, but I can't get all of the features. Like I can't download the training runs with the watch I have, even though this watch is not that old, but you can't download everything.
You say it's not that old, but it is 8?
Maybe.
8 years old?
I don't know. I can't remember when I got it, but
I know I shouldn't say no. I'll bet my Phoenix 3 heart rate is got to be pushing 8+ years old.
Oh, wow. I got mine after you did, though.
You did like 6 months or a year.
No, it was a couple years.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't think it was that long.
That's
yeah, you're right. I guess it might have been.
I worked on my wife forever, and I kept sending her pictures of it. Like, hey, this would be a great gift.
Did you get her one at the same time?
I got a deal on hers, but I got her one, and there was a
right.
problem with it, and I had to send it back, but I got it for like half off. So I got a screaming deal on the one I got her.
Gotcha.
But she bought it. She did. She got it for me for Father's Day, and I was actually shocked. I thought there's no way she's going to spend that money on it. So I tried it with other things, and nothing else has worked. Because for Christmas, I was sending her pictures of kayaks and all this stuff, and she's like, no. So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
I got Nicole, I don't remember what it is, because she really likes simple. Like, she doesn't want a ton of features and all that. She doesn't want all the bells and whistles. She wants to be able to hit, start, and go. But when I got mine, I made sure I got her one at the same time. It helped take off the edge a little bit of mine. So, but she does like her watch, so that's good. But yeah, watches, possibly the Stride for sure. Following you, and when I decide that I want to start running, we'll
maybe we should
follow that as well.
Maybe we should order that now.
Maybe we will. We'll see. I know I want to get it. Yeah,
because the lead time, mine took like a couple months to get. Like
really?
The lead time was crazy, but it was brand new. But I don't know how long the shipping is now. Like if they have them in stock, but it was the brand new version when it came out.
Yeah, I wonder. I'm just curious if I were to buy.
Like just to see what it would take. Because what if it doesn't show up for 3 weeks?
Say, looks like. Oh, it doesn't really say.
I was kind of surprised. I mean, it's not a kick on Stride necessarily. It's just like, I think like if they didn't have them in stock, it just takes a while to build them.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll come back to it. I pulled it up, put it in the cart. It doesn't give me does not give me a
ship date.
Ship date.
Yeah. It's not like buying stuff on Amazon where you get it that night.
No kidding.
I've had that. Like all of a sudden it's like, are you kidding me? Like how do they ship it so fast?
I know. I've ordered stuff at work. Shouldn't say that, right? But yeah, I've ordered stuff in the morning, even by like 11 a.m. And they're like, yeah, you can have it at your home tonight. And I'm thinking, how is that even possible? I'm just trying to see.
So you are distracted right now and looking online. Just want to point that out. Yeah. I was told that I had to keep you on track better, but this is fine.
Well, this is
all related.
It is at 100%.
It's not golf.
It's at least not golf. It's not
swimming.
Not swimming for sure. And this is something we're looking at covering. Yeah, it's not giving me a ship date. I got to put in my credit card. All right.
Can you call the numbers out to me?
No. Well, let's jump back into some more of
the equipment. Like so.
Oh, yeah.
So where are we going with what?
So yeah, one of the things that we talked about were some other areas we're going to grow the podcast. We talked about a Patreon. we're actually that's still happening. Actually, super excited for that and just what that's going to bring to the podcast.
And to make sure,
Yeah,
it doesn't mean that people have to pay to listen. It's just a way to support. And leading into the amount of money that you've spent on all, I mean, I don't know how much that is, but it's just it
adds up.
It adds up. It is a hobby.
It is.
It's fun, and you're techie, and you love that stuff anyway. But it's like,
yeah, it does add up. But it also, I just through the last year, when I look at like, all right, when this started, what we were starting it for, and I just think, man, it has been a ton of fun. I thought it was a very successful year for the podcast. And so when we started to wind down the year, I'm like, all right, how do we grow this? Number one, just so that we can support it, so that it can support the $500 a year that it costs to host this from like Buzzsprout and some other miscellaneous like things. And so obviously the next step is either you get advertising funds or some kind of a sponsor. But if you want to keep it, if you want to control that, you've got to have people just naturally support the podcast. And one of the ways people do that is through Patreon. That is a ton of people use Patreon to do that. For doing that, you can then offer those supporters something, whether it's additional content or coffee mugs like we talked about, which I think would be awesome. I think the coffee mugs is huge because we've talked about the coffee on the show a lot.
Yeah.
And how good it is.
It's not good.
It's not
Typically.
horrible.
I'm drinking it today. It's okay.
It's not bad.
It's not that bad.
You're not making faces when you take a drink.
My first cup was from home, which was much better. So now
What
at least
do you drink at home? I want to know.
my wife usually gets something. We get, beans and we grind
You
beans.
do, okay.
Yeah. It's usually like she'll go to Grandpa's Coffee Roaster sometimes and get really good coffee. And or my son works at a coffee shop out in Ann Arbor. And then when
that's right.
When he comes home, he brings stuff from that coffee shop and it's really good.
You mentioned that. That's right. I can see that. It is definitely not that fresh, but
we're admittedly snobs. I am.
Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah. You drink sludge, but that's okay.
I don't drink sludge.
You don't have taste buds, I think.
No, I do because I appreciate good coffee, but I'm also fine with just whatever is black and in the cup. I'm fine with that too. If it's hot.
At least you don't add
I don't add a bunch of
you don't add creamer or sugar.
Yeah, I don't add all that.
If Dan's listening, where you do a tablespoon of coffee and the rest is cream.
He likes some creamer in his coffee. He likes some coffee in his creamer.
Yeah, my wife was watching him pour coffee. She's like, I'm not going to judge. And then she watched him. She's like, oh, I'm judging.
That's funny. So yeah. Anyway, the Patreon thing that is 100% just for those that really want to help the podcast and support it, and we'll be launching that. I don't know when I can get around to.
I know you got distracted because it's going to take a lot of work to do it.
It is.
And you have to line all that stuff up, and there's just been a lot of stuff going on, especially through the holidays up until now. Not making excuses, it's just, and then and then you get totally geeked out on setting this.
Well, one of the things we looked at in closing out the year was, like I said, how can we grow the podcast? And one of the ways you do that is through YouTube. I could not believe some of the stats that I pulled this last week, 2 weeks. I guess it's been a little bit more than that. But some of the stats that I've been reading on YouTube. YouTube is the #1 podcasting platform.
That's just so
YouTube.
Funny. So
the video.
So people will watch us talk.
Well, it's funny because
I could throw stuff at you once in a while too.
It's funny because people don't necessarily have to watch it, but they want to listen on the same platform that they watch all their videos on. So they might. It's interesting.
A friend that I work with said that he will put it on because it has to be on, and he does podcasts that way on the way to work. So if the video's playing, he's not watching it,
right?
But he's listening to it in his car.
Yep. And I think a lot of people do that because they want to just. It's easy for people to go to YouTube and find what they want. Mm-hmm. It's become so, and I don't want to say like I'm way behind on realizing
We are.
this,
We're old people.
But
You're one of those two now.
well, but I followed it at least. I at least follow the trends and tech and all that a little bit.
I don't.
More than you do.
I count on you.
Yeah.
To tell me.
So all that to say, we understand how big YouTube is, and this was an interesting stat too. Shorts, so vertical videos, TikTok and Instagram and all those, or those. But now the YouTube Shorts, which is also vertical video. YouTube Shorts account for 1.5 billion users they have 1.5 billion users and 30 billion views per day. 30 billion views per day.
Crazy.
That's insane because of YouTube Shorts. So it's the YouTube Shorts. So it's not YouTube. That's the YouTube Shorts. The I don't know how long the length of the video is, but that's obviously short. And they're vertical. And it's obviously because of the phones, right? Because we watch them on phones. So all that to say, we are going to go to YouTube. You're going to be able to still listen on all your platforms that you currently do.
So it'll still be on Apple,
all that. Spotify, Podbean, all those, Audible.
Yeah.
All the ones you currently listen on. That's not going to change. But we are going to dive into YouTube. We are going to record video. We're going to, because that was the other thing. One of the things I looked up was if you're going to go YouTube, you should, for your podcast, you should not do like the logo. Just like put up the logo and just hear our voices behind it.
My face will probably help a lot.
Yeah, just a picture of your face. And so one of the things they said is you should actually go video. Like get a camera, set up the lighting and things like that.
So what do we do with that? Do we have little Easter eggs come through? Like we'll have somebody just walk through that's just like
a bear going through people throwing around a basketball.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
No.
Have you not seen that?
No.
So there's a video. You could literally search bear walks through stage. You could probably do that and it'll come up. And you watch the video. If you didn't know it ahead of time, you would watch the video and just see these guys throwing around a basketball, right? I think that's what they're doing. And then afterwards they'll say, "Did you see the bear walk through?" You're like, whatever. And then they rewind it and they show it to you. I bet you everybody goes back and goes, "There's no way." And they take it back and they watch the video and they're like, "How did I not see that?" There's a guy in like a bear costume or something.
So that's how we'll have to get creative. We'll have people dress up like things and kind of sneak through.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
So again, coming back, Patreon, again, a way to help support the channel or to support the podcast, things like that. And some of the fun stuff that we're going to be able to do with it, again, video being number one, we're going to record, we're going to put it up there. We're going to just another way of engaging with people that want to run, take the journey of running, and from the first 5K that you do or whatever to your first marathon or ultra or whatever, this is just another way for us to share our experiences, good, bad, ugly, whatever, with...
we got definitely some ugly stuff that has,
definitely have ugly stuff.
If you do this kind of thing, you're going to have bad days, and there is plenty of that.
So
fall on your head, get a black eye.
So this video, I'm not sure. I'm about
We don't want to get black
50-50.
eyes during the... Yeah.
No, we don't need any black eyes. Have you ever from running?
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, didn't you?
I fell forward and hit my head last year and it gave me a black eye.
That's right.
Fell on the ice.
So, yeah, black eyes and all. We're going to record it all. And we have shifted our normal space, which we already found was an issue because now we have some, like, bouncing back from above us, which I don't like. I can hear it. And I think the majority will never even know. Like, there's so many times that we come down here, and I'm like, "You guys hear that?" And you guys are like, "Hear what? What are you talking about?" Like, you cannot hear what, like, the echo or this ducking or gates or whatever. Anyway, excited for that. So this could be, we're not 100% sure if we're going to put this video out yet because we don't have all of our gear. We have a lot of it. We have most of it, actually. We're missing a few things, but this could be the first I Don't Know Running podcast YouTube video.
We could throw it up and just say, hey, at least we're better than that.
Yeah.
So you got to start somewhere.
Got to start somewhere, and we will continue to grow that. And we're excited for a new platform to be able to reach people, because if you go to YouTube and you're like, oh, let's search running or whatever.
But it is crazy. We're both stat geeks, and I've been kind of watching, like we hit 5,000 downloads, but it's grown a bunch since then.
Which,
like,
if you don't know, it's easy to think, when I'm stumbling all over, but people often compare like downloads and they look at YouTube, right? They're like, oh, if you don't have 1 million downloads, you're not making it. The difference is with podcasts is very different. Some of the stats we shared is we were in the top 50 or 25%, something like that, with the downloads that we have this year. Podcasting is a very different world. Number one is, I may have shared this, but like advertisers and things like that really look at podcasts as a very good area to advertise, because generally speaking, if you're listening to a podcast, you're actually consuming 90, and for us, our podcast, our listeners actually consume 90+%, or I think it's actually 95% or 97% of the podcast. That's huge. Whereas with videos, like I'm not talking like the podcast video that we're going to be doing. I'm talking like general videos, like whatever. Consumption rates are they're actually a lot lower because people go, they want to see what they want to see and they want to get out, right? They're not listening the same way that you listen to a podcast. So that's probably down a rabbit hole that people don't necessarily care about. But
squirrel. I don't know. Maybe.
Anyway, yeah, super excited for where we're going with this, and as this continues to grow and develop, we're actually excited for this and what everybody thinks. Like, tell us. We would love to hear, like, hey, that's a great idea. The nice thing is that it doesn't change anything we're currently doing. We're just adding to what we're doing, not taking away your current places that you listen. So if you couldn't care less, nothing's going to change.
Right.
But we really think that we're going to be able to reach more people and share more experiences and things like that.
Fun. More people have been reaching out to us too. And if we haven't gotten back to everybody, it's been kind of a weird couple of weeks. So
yeah,
it has been, and we're trying to.
And a reminder that, like, this is a hobby for us.
Right.
This is just for fun. We enjoy it. We love sharing, number one. Mm-hmm. And you, of all people, Mitch, love getting people pushing their limits. Mm-hmm. And so that's what this is for. We love to share the passion that we have for running, things like that. And we want to be able to share that with as many people as we can.
I talked about that with Sean this morning. It's like, I don't ever discount what people do, but if you've done a half, I am going to challenge you to do a full. That's just how I do it. It doesn't mean like their half didn't mean anything. It's just like, what's next?
Yeah.
Always what's next. And I challenge myself the same way. Like I have been dealing with some injuries, and that's why I'm trying to see if I can do an ultra this fall.
And I'm going to join you. I'm planning on. One of the things that we briefly brought up was we have a plan, and one of the things that we want to do this year is we want to follow, because my baseline is pretty low right now, and so I'm going to get a stride. We are going to do updates probably weekly. It will be really short. It'll be like, all right, where's your power at, power to weight, and all that we talked about.
Yeah, you weigh a lot less than I do.
I do, and I'm curious to see what my baseline is. It's like I don't even know when the last time I ran was.
Yeah, it's been a long time. I think it was months. We ran together the last time, I think.
Yeah.
And even then, you weren't running that much.
No, it was very brief. So that's actually, I'm kind of excited for that, actually, because I'm kind of excited to see where that baseline is.
But the whole kind of idea is like, again, what's it matter a few more weeks is get the stride and then start. Like, I don't need to start right now. I'll just do it completely from zero.
From zero, we will.
You know, the dumb thing about this is it's going to irritate the crap out of me is that we're going to run together and you're going to still kick my ass.
I'm curious to see. Well, I'm kind of curious to see where the numbers start.
Yeah.
Where your power is, where my power is, and just see how that moves, because your power is not going to move as much.
No, it hasn't.
Because you've already got this base.
It hasn't moved in a month, and I've been running. I'm already coming up on 300 miles for this month already.
I'm coming up on
zero. Yeah,
0. Mm-hmm. I probably will not run the month.
Maybe
of January.
that's why I'm beating myself up. I'm trying to make up for you.
Maybe you're running enough miles for both of us right now. For me, anyway. So yeah, when this finishes up, I'm going to complete the purchase of the Stride. And
this is going to be fun.
We will get that coming. I will get that coming, and we will set a baseline when it gets here 2 or 3 weeks from now, however long it takes. And that's when I will start my running. We'll follow stats. We're going to pick a race. Might pick a race on the podcast.
Oh, you know what? I talked to Brian about this morning, and he's been busy with baby and all that stuff too. And I said, man, I want to do some runs out east. So maybe there is something, if we could drive and just do
is out there.
And just do a quick weekend. Well,
not really east, is it? It's more southeast.
Yeah. And I need a lot of eastern states yet for my 50 state quest. And you could do a weekend, even if it's a 10-hour drive, you can flip that pretty quick.
Yeah.
And you can do it cost efficiently, and it makes it more fun to say, hey, we got out there and got back.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm excited.
So maybe I can talk you into that, because we could do it on the cheap. Like with 3 of us or 4 of us, we could do it on the cheap.
Yeah.
And then build up to an ultra. You know what I mean? Get a marathon and say, hey, this fall.
Gotcha.
Whatever.
Well, I will definitely be picking out an ultra for the fall. A 50-mile at least.
But we'll have some training marathons leading
for
up.
Sure. Yeah.
And help my 50. I'm selfish. So help my 50 state quest.
Yeah, well, it's a give and take. I take a lot anyway. So yeah, you're very giving in all of that. So yeah, we will complete the purchase of the Stride today, as soon as we wrap this up. Get that in order. We will follow it up when we do get it. Mitch and I are going to run in the morning. We will pull up those stats, and we're going to go over them briefly. We're not going to spend a ton of time on it, but I think it is kind of an exciting thing to see and watch.
We are good at going into rabbit holes, though. So I don't know. We could talk about golf.
Sure, why not? I can always talk golf.
No.
I understand some people really like it. So
apparently swimmers don't like golf.
No. You showed me a picture this morning. I think we should use for one of these podcasts.
I should get his permission though first.
That was funny. I think those are hilarious because I know why they're doing it. But yeah, it's fun. So yeah, that is a little bit more about just where this show or this podcast is going to go this year. I'm excited for the new opportunities. It's going to create a little more work on the back end for me, but I really enjoy it. We were kind of talking about that before, where I kind of do geek out about that stuff. I enjoy new gear.
The learning process. And
the learning process, yeah. So yeah, we hope you guys enjoy this. We hope you take a look at this. I'm torn. This may or may not be the first one, but if it turns out okay and things are in focus, I might throw it up there, and then we'll go from there. And I would love to hear feedback from everybody or anybody, and just say, hey, this is a really cool opportunity. We love it, and continue. Or
you guys
sucks.
You guys or you guys got faces for radio, and there's a reason for
Keep
that.
It on. Well, you don't have to go to YouTube and watch it, but we do think it's when you look at trends, you have to follow if you're going to grow and things like that. You do have to
pay attention,
yep. and develop and grow. If you're not growing, you're just gonna go away. There was a pop going on. Have you heard that? A few times? Anyway,
I haven't heard anything. Somebody also pointed out.
So that's kind of an update. Basically, that's what we wanted to talk about, was just where we're going, and it was a perfect timing because we did want to talk about this stuff and where we were going, and we happened to have a cancellation, so it just worked out, and we will grow it from here. Next week's podcast will be different, both on YouTube and on not on the normal platforms. That's just going to stay the same. But as far as on YouTube, we're going to develop that this year. That's going to be fun. And we have a road to what we want, a goal, is a minimum of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And we're just going to toss it out there. We're going to walk the process of that and see how that works. And
that'd be interesting.
It'll be fun to follow. And just like this year, like we had stat reviews from last year, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to update everybody on how things are going. And I hope everybody just enjoys that and appreciates the process with us, because without people listening and giving us feedback, what's the point, right?
Right.
So, yeah. Any other?
I don't think so. I think that's really all we wanted to cover.
Cool.
We're going to try to keep this short, too.
We were. And it's still shorter than a lot of them. So, not super short, but it's short enough. So, yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed this. Please shoot us an email, idon'tknowrunning@gmail.com. Send us a Facebook message. You can even comment on a video now on YouTube. So, but yeah, that's going to wrap up this week's episode of the I Don't Know Running podcast. Be sure to tune in next time where we share more about what we just don't know.
Till then, happy running.